All right. Here we go. Everything is on. Everything. Wait, let me see. Nope, not everything. There we go. We're recording. So I have to make sure the SD card is in. I have to make sure the microphone is on. I have to make sure like Facebook Live is running and it's rotated in the right way. I am getting this wonderful, uh, wonderful lesson in how to do technology, right? Um, at first it really frustrated me because my attention was being pulled in all these different directions, and it was a learning process. And as we went over yesterday, how are we going to change our habits and our minds and our behaviors, especially being in this space right now. And so we talked about that's a space of getting into that theta wave, getting into that meditative state. You can rewire your brain to some degree, deprogram. Also out of repetition, right? And so everything that we've done from about 7 years old and up, we've learned because of repetition. And if you've been in a physical yoga practice, it's all repetition. You end up doing sun salutations. I think we did the number on how many chaturangas I've personally done in a 20-year career, and it was at that time it was 750,000. It was like 766,000 chaturangas I've done over a lifetime. And because I did them correctly, because I was taught to pay attention to it, right? Then I was able to keep the machine going, right? So right now we've had this breakdown of our machine. The machine, our reality machine, has broke down. And we're all like toddlers in the world right now. And our attention is everywhere because we feel like we're in this new plane and we're starting to learn in a new way. And so in the beginning, for me personally, I don't think that I'm different than anybody else. For me personally, it was kind of frustrating in the beginning because I was like, oh my God, I have to learn how to get my business online in a weekend, right? But now I've come back around to where like I'm getting a rhythm of what I'm doing, right? So I'm like, okay, check the microphone, check the SD card, make sure you've hit record on every single thing, make sure the room is clean, there's not a bunch of dog hair on your yoga mat, make sure all your junk is pushed to the back of the room. This is my living room. This room does not look like this normally, right? And then set up and be ready to go, which isn't necessarily any harder than how I learned to do the other facet of my business in the beginning. It was just new. And so we are all experiencing this like toddler, like running around like squirrels trying to cross the road experience about what we're supposed to do next. And I was talking to my friend Sabrina yesterday because it's just like, I need to figure out what direction I'm going with this business, right? The reality is that, yeah, we won't be back into studio till probably mid-May and beginning of June, right? I'm not going to candy coat that. So where am I supposed to go? And in that moment, she gave me a beautiful sense of clarity in that I didn't have to figure that part out right now. All I need to do is figure out how to get the microphone on, how to get the SD card in, how to turn on the Facebook, and how to hit record. All right? Those are the things I need to do today. Today. That's all I need to do today. All right? Make sure there's food in the cabinet today, right? And so what I'm asking of you guys as we go into this little bit of meditation for the morning, how can we let all the background noise of what could happen, what might happen in a month, what might happen tomorrow, let all that fall away. And we are going to just take a simple mental inventory of what actually has to happen today. So, you know, some of you might be thinking, well, I need my business or my job today to pay my bills tomorrow. That's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about what do you need to do today? Maybe even just for the next hour, all right? Some of you will be joining me for the physical practice, but those of you who are here for the mental and the meditative space, I'd like you to feel like the first thing you need to do is get a comfortable seat. So personally, I'm gonna pull my little tuff over, right? Might even grab my blanket too, right? It's nice and warm. I put it on the heater vent. Right. So maybe things are about you finding a little bit of extra joy in the moment. So for me personally, my hips feel great sitting on the floor, but they feel even better sitting up about 2 or 3 inches. My hips are open. There's no reason I have to do that except that it feels better. And that's what I need to do for me today. So go ahead and come to a seated position, laying down. I don't necessarily recommend laying down because there's too much tendency to fall asleep at the beginning of a class. But if you might, or at the beginning of a day, but if you want to lay back a little bit because that feels better on your back, or sit up into a chair, what is it that's going to make you feel good so that you can kind of go through a breath and then go through your exact needs at this very moment, all right? And so once you find that position and you start to kind of wiggle around a little bit, so some of us are just waking up and we might have some tension in our head, our neck, our chest. What is it that, you know, might feel good before we sit too much? You can do some little side leans. Mainly I want the movement to be that kind of that morning kind of like, oh yeah, that feels good. That's the spot kind of movement, right? And getting some little snap, crackle, pops out. And really enjoy that moment. I mean, what's stopping us from enjoying that moment itself except maybe our mental tethers, right? And so as we're coming through, I even like to grab my hands behind me, right? And so as you do that and you get all your little wiggles out, I want you to come to whatever position is comfortable for you. I want you to close your eyes. Now, myself, I'll rest my hands open on my lap. That is, if you have a little bit of love, a little bit of energy to give out into the world, then you're more than welcome to turn the palms up. If you need a little energy, a little love, the palms go down. You can give a little, take a little, one up, one down, right? And so sit here and just start to feel the breath. Feel the breath come in through the nose. You might feel it come across the top of the lip. You might feel it come in through the nostrils. You might feel a sense of it dropping in and out through the back of the throat. You might notice, hey, I lift my shoulders when I inhale. I bellow my rib cage. What is it that you feel like you're doing? Don't try to change anything. Just notice it. And then as you notice the breath, you'll notice that there's these little bits of pleasure sensation as you breathe. Sometimes we are so much on autopilot that we don't notice it. And so as you breathe, there's this really nice sensation. It's actually a kind of an internal pleasurable feeling. I equate it to when someone like strokes your skin really softly. And so you'll begin to feel that, it's something that helps us propel and continue to breathe. It's an experience that feels good. And then if any thoughts are coming up for you at this time, you're just going to kind of drop those for the moment. And there's nothing that you need to do with any thought at the moment except following the breath. And so realizing in this now moment, if you're sitting here with me, the only thing that you actually need, or the only thing you need to do, is to breathe. And so we begin to organize our thoughts by the now moment. And so right now, the only thing that you need is the breath. And just feel that. Feel the release of need for anything else. Feel the release of the tether to anything else. Let that weight come from your shoulders and drop down and support on the diaphragm. And so there's this essence where we're kind of gripping against background thoughts by gripping with our shoulders. And so let all that background thought go, let all those shoulders drop down, and you'll feel them rest upon that area of the solar plexus. And then you'll feel the breath moving from there. And knowing that that's all you need to do at this moment in time, rest in peace on that for a moment. And so as we go through our base needs, these are the things that are the only necessities in our today that we need to think about. So if you have food in your cabinets, you can release that need for food today. Today, not any other time, just today. Feel how knowing you have something to eat is such a good space, such a secure space, and it's something that not everybody has. So instead of taking on in a empathetic way, see that scenario as a sympathetic way where you can actually have some sense of comfort and joy that you personally have some food for today. And I'm going to equate all of these needs that I know that not everybody has this, but this is also equated to if the oxygen masks fall out, you have to put yours on first, right? And so for us to be able to volunteer and go beyond ourselves in these altruistic measures that we all ultimately desire to do, we have to find our base needs, okay, and not a burden upon our own system. And so if you have food in your belly, if you have food in your cabinet today, even if it's not something you truly desire, but it's there, feel the shoulders drop, feel the need for stress or anxiety or gripping or tether to go from that. And then those of you with a roof over your head, likelihood is if you're watching this online, you probably have a roof over your head. And so feel a sense of gratitude, feel a sense of comfort and joy that you have that space for you and the people that may be with you today. Those of you with clothing on your back, it's another thing to be grateful for. And then the next base need that we have is to know yourself, your self-expression in the world. And what do I mean by that? Am I still Merri? Am I still the person that I was in the majority sense of the word? Yes, some things have changed, but am I still that entity that has always been and always will be inside? Is the soul, is the I that exists within me still me in this very moment? Not anything about tomorrow or 2 weeks from now, but right in this moment, are you still that entity? Letting all the stress and tension go from knowing you are still you, you are still whole. And then the final base need is to know that you have the ability to act on your own behalf. And this is the sticky one. This is the one where everybody probably feels a little activated in this area right now. So I'd like you to put your hands right here around your solar plexus and feel. Do you feel numb? Do you feel fluttery? Do you feel gripping? What kind of sensations are there? This is your place of assertion. This is your place of action. And what I would say for you is that that space is one end of the spectrum or the other right now. Breathe into it. Focus on letting those shoulders drop onto that space. And then know if you have the ability to breathe, and you have the ability to think, and you have the ability to process that system, process between the breath and the mind, you have all the ability that you need to act in your own safety and in your own well-being. And so you can let go of that stress as well. So you're going to feel any stress from the solar plexus, from that upper divide in the rib cage, just release. Feel your body root into the earth. Feel as though you're rooting into whatever seated area that you're in. feel grounded and take a breath, and knowing that your base needs for this moment today are taken care of. And that's all you have to do. And so take a few more breaths there, trying to feel as though you can connect with that breath, you can connect with that space, you can connect with the actual knowledge, not the misconception. So when you project tomorrow and the future on your now moment, you're suffering as though you're already there. And I'd like all of our minds to come back to where we actually are. And most of us are very safe in our homes at this very moment. Take a breath in. Let go. What doesn't serve you, sigh it out. Take it in. Sigh it out. Take it in. Sigh it out. Now, go back into that breath work. Go back into breathing naturally, noticing the breath come across your nose, across your top of your lip, into the back of your throat. Begin to notice it enter these spaces of security and action and ability for yourself. Start to feel free and open in those spaces. Start to feel a sense of security, at least in this now moment, this very, very singular moment in time. Those of you that are signed up to join the physical practice, go ahead and open your eyes, come to all fours, and we're going to do some cat-cows. I'm going to set up the recordings from here, and I will see you guys on Facebook tomorrow. I hope that helped your day. Why won't it let me do it sideways? Let me do it sideways. Oh well. All right. I am gonna, let's see, start recording. All right, Sarah, give me 2 seconds. All right, go ahead and start off on cat cow. So go ahead and come onto all fours, hands and knees, cat cow. As you do this, I'd like you to go ahead and start to circle the spine. Maybe circle the head, the hips, the shoulders. What is it that you need this morning, right? And then I'd ask you to find your down dog. Pedal your feet, wag your tail, and move around. In through the nose and out through the nose. So go ahead and make your way towards the top of the mat. We're going to take the feet wide and we're going to ragdoll. I'm grabbing my elbows. I'm swaying my upper body left and right. Drop the arm. Roll all the way up. So this will be kind of an express class because I got really teachy with that meditation, took it for a little bit. I will add another video on with your links today so that you have like if you're really needing a physical practice today, you can do this practice as well as the added practice that we'll send you. All right. So I've got another class coming up. I'm going to have to separate it a little bit. Go ahead and let those arms come down along the sides. Second toes at 12 o'clock. Heels are rooted. Thighs are strong. As you inhale, reach your arms up. Grab a hold of the left wrist with the right hand. Begin to pull yourself over towards your right side. So as you do this, you're going to feel that long line arc over towards your personal right. You might even kick that hip out, letting the left hip go way out. And then you're going to inhale and come up. And we're going to switch the grip. We're going to grab a hold. Notice my palm is facing inward. My hip goes out laterally as I start to arc through the sides of the body. On my inhale, I'm going to come up. I'm going to release those hands down behind my back, interlacing my fingers, bringing my palms together as my fingertips braid. Feet will move wide to the edge of your mat and you'll forward fold. You'll let the crown of the head reach down and the knuckles reach up. As you do this, you want to feel the sides of the neck stretch down towards the mat. You want to feel the knuckles reach up towards the sky. And so you're creating the stretch between knuckles and the gravity pulling on the crown of the head. You're going to release the hands down and you're going to step back to a plank position, push-up position. I recommend dropping to your knees if you need to. Tuck your tailbone. As you exhale, lower all the way down so that the hands are alongside your low ribs. Let me scoot back a little bit. Roll the shoulder heads back. I'm going to ask you to press the thighs down, squeeze the legs together, lift those feet up off the floor, tent up onto the fingertips, breathing in through the nose, out through the nose for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, press back to your child's pose. From your child's posture, we're going to take the left arm, thread it under, palm faces up. We're going to get a nice little spinal twist. And then inhale, we're going to come up and switch those arms out. So we want to make today's class feel good. Notice I'm not making you drop too deep into the posture just yet. This should feel as though just like it's a morning stretch, nothing too extravagant. Extend those arms out, tuck the toes, lift the hips. We're going to pedal our feet a little bit. Notice I'm twisting my hips but keeping them high. This gets that nice stretch down the back of the rib cage. We're going to take the left leg up to the ceiling, reach it up. I'm going to pivot my left hip open so it starts to stack over the right, bending my left knee, and I'm going to circle the left ankle. It's as though I'm trying to drop my left heel to my right butt cheek. Easy for me to say. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead and do the other side. So I'll lift my right leg up. I'm going to pivot my hip open. And I'm going to tuck my shoulder. Oh, you know, those little snap, crackle, pops out. Wonderful. Put those feet down. I'm going to ask you to walk them towards the top of the mat. Once you arrive at the top of the mat, we're going to bring our feet 4 inches apart. Hands come onto your shins. Inhale comes halfway up. Flatten your back, stick your tailbone out, your heart lightly forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rides that breath all the way up, reaches up, stretches up. And then exhale, brings the hands into prayer in front of your chest. Inhale, sweep the arms up. We're going to grab a hold of the right wrist, kick our right hip out, and lean over to the left. We'll use the inhale to come up. We'll grab a hold of the wrist with the other hand, do the other side as we reach, and then inhale, you come back up again. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Hands to shins, inhale, halfway up. Exhale, hands down, step back to your plank pose. From this position, you can stay on your toes or drop to your knees if you would like. Exhale, lowers all the way down. Once you're down, notice how my forearms are back here and they're nice and perpendicular. That's the place you want to land against that low ribs. Bringing the big toes together, legs together, push the hips down, lift the legs, lift the heart. Even tint up like your thing from Adam's family onto those fingers. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. And so we're lining up our fingers with that place of solar plex that we had before. So we're expanding, opening from that place of action, extending into our toes, extending out through the crown of our head for 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, pushes back to your child's pose. This time you're going to bring your your elbows in nice and close. Try to get to the funny bones and put the forehead down. And so as I crawl my elbows forward, I bring my hips back more. Palms are pressing firmly together. Go ahead and roll up. Extend those arms out. Find your down dog. Cat has to make a daily appearance in my yoga class. Slowly step up. Other things to think about. Make sure the cat is put up. Hands to shins. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. By the way, I'm allergic to her. This is going to be great. Inhale all the way up, reach up. Face is already itching. Hands at the side. Oh, I love you, Rico. Inhale, arms up. I don't like it when you do that nonsense. You can go take your little cat butt somewhere else with that. Sorry, guys. I'm a great yoga instructor till you mess my dad up. I have issues with that. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, swan dive. I'll cut that out of the video. Hands to shins, inhale halfway. Exhale, hands down, step back to plank pose. Holding here for 4. So as you hold here, feel that place. So we were talking about this place, this gut feeling, this rooted space. That is where all your strength is here. And so nice and strong, pushing the floor away, breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Shoulders are moving out of the ears. Upper abs are strong. Still 3, 2, and 1. Lower all the way down. This time we're going to take the hands behind our back and we're going to interlace our fingers. So braiding your fingers like we did before behind our back. Extend the knuckles back and notice that as I extend my thumbs down my tailbone, right, I extend the back of my neck. Now, everything's going to float. Really? This is what we're doing. For 4 more. 3, absolutely not. You're being a pain in the butt. Go away. 2, and 1. Release and go to child's pose. Child's pose. Sorry, guys. I might just leave that. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, tear down dog. Turn the head a little left and right. We're going to inhale and take that left leg to the ceiling. We're going to exhale as the left foot steps up by left thumb. We want to make sure that our shin is perpendicular, straight up and down like mine is. As you do this, you're going to take that left arm. You're going to inhale, reach it up. And then exhale, you're going to just bring it back down softly. You're going to inhale and reach it up. Then you're going to exhale and bring it back down. Just letting the body kind of open here. Inhale in a manner that feels good to you. Exhale. Inhale, the arm goes up. And exhale. Inhale, the arm goes up. And exhale. Inhale, the arm goes up. And exhale. Hands go to down dog. Inhale, floats to your plank position. Drop to your knees if you would like. Exhale, lowers all the way back down. Once you're down, take those hands behind the back. Change the braid. So whatever set of fingers is number 1 is now number 2. We're going to stretch the knuckles back. Press the hips down. Lifting for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Press back to down dog. From your down dog, take your right foot high. Reach it up. Stretch it up. Exhale as that right foot comes up. Finding that low lunge. Finding that perpendicular shin. Finding that left hand staying down. You're going to inhale and reach it up. And exhale brings it down. So inhale reaches it up, open up, feel good in the posture. Don't overdo it, and bring it back down. Reach it up and back down. Reach it up and down. Reach it up and hands down, step back, down dog. Inhale floats to plank. Exhale lowers all the way down. All right, so this time we're going to take our fingers behind our head like we're doing crunches or you're getting arrested, whichever one you are more familiar with. Some more than others, right? All right, so fingertips behind the head, elbows out, legs come together. Now inhale, lift up. Now, some of us are really shortening the place between our shoulders and our neck. Feel the shoulder heads pull back. If you can't do that with your fingers at the back of your head, get cactus arms and pull those shoulders back. Lift up for 4, 3, squeezing shoulder blades, 2, and 1. Reach the arms out, airplane arms. Put the hands down. Take the left hand in by your left shoulder right up here. Bend the left knee, roll over, broken dog. Go ahead and come center. Bring that right hand in. Left arm stretches out straight to the side. Right knee bends. Roll back. And then come center. Press up and back to your down dog. Wiggle around, pedal around, move it around. Now I'm going to ask you to step your feet outside your pinky fingers so that you can come into yogi squat. Now, not everybody can get their heels down for yogi squat, so you can always roll up your yoga mat, or you can put, I like the yoga mat because it's a little stiffer to support your heels. So I'll turn this way. But you can use a blanket or a towel. The goal here in Malasana or yogi squat is to put some weight into the heels. And so I feel like I'm sitting on my heels, not my toes, right? And then at that point, I push my knees wide with my elbows, but then my elbows still clamp around my knees and it keeps me from falling on my butt, right? And so go ahead and take the gaze at the fingertips. And just start to breathe. Start to let those hips drop down low. Start to let the shoulders drop down low. Start to feel centered. Start to feel as though everything that you need to do is already in place. And we're going to take the right hand down, little fingertips. So fingertips crawl around the toes and then out here, out past the shin and the pinky toe side of the foot as much as possible. I'm pushing the knee open with this arm, and I'm really leveraging down in the shoulder as I oh yes, I got a nice adjustment. So I'm pushing through my heels, I'm pushing the knee back, I'm pushing through my fingertips, my belly button is strong as I reach up. I just got like 3 or 4 adjustments. My back obviously needed this. And then coming center once again. And so if this is uncomfortable, it means you need more support underneath the heels. We are not doing Western stretch, which is on the balls of the feet and the heels, hips are lifted. We're doing Eastern stretch where we're sitting nice and low, the butt's dropping nice and low, the weight is in the heels. I'm going to drop my left fingertips down outside of that pinky toe. I'm going to sit up nice and tall. I'm pushing the knee open. I'm drawing the belly back so that the butt is dropping down as I reach my right arm up. And coming center. Wonderful. Very good. Hands on the floor. Keep your heels on whatever surface, rolled up mat or blanket that you have. Put some weight in equally in the front and the back of the feet so that as you forward fold, legs are just a little wider than hip distance, not much. 4, 3, 2, let the back of the neck get heavy, and 1. Wonderful. Go ahead and keep that blanket or towel handy dandy. We are going to go into hip opener and have go back into our meditation real briefly before we end for this morning session. So bringing the hands and the knees onto all fours. You're going to bring the right knee up so it is to the outer right wrist. And so what do I mean by that? Look at where your pinky finger plugs into the wrist, and then bring your right knee up to touch that space. Then let the foot pivot underneath you as you use the left leg to slide back. We'll take the blanket, put it underneath that hip. So I've got a blanket underneath my right hip as I come forward. You want to feel as though the hips are very centered and level here. That means you should feel the center of your left foot. So feel that second and third toe, the top of the foot into the mat, the center of the knee into the mat, the center of the thigh bone of the left leg facing down. And then I want you to feel the top of your right hip and thigh bone pull in towards the center of your mat. So it'll pull it back just a little bit. Take a deep breath in here. Hold it. Exhale. Deep inhale in. Exhale. Deep inhale in, hold. Let it go. Deep inhale in and hold the breath. Exhale, lets it all go. Wonderful. We're going to come up. We're going to do the other side. And so make sure you hold the breath without stress or force, right? You just want to create a place of stillness between the inhale and exhale. So hands are down. You're going to bring that other knee forward so it touches the wrist, and then slide your right leg back. If you need a blanket underneath your left hip, do so. Otherwise, you can bring it up under your chest or your face as you come forward. Notice the leg does not, traditional teaching, the leg is parallel with the top of the mat. Frankly, that's great if you could sit in yogi squat real comfortably, but the reality is that most people going to full half pigeon is really, really intense on their hips. So be okay with that foot coming back. The breath is coming in, it's pausing, it's holding. And then exhale, lets it all go. Wonderful. Come up. You're going to just roll over onto that left hip so that you can sit up. Take the legs nice and wide. Come forward, straddle fold. Toes at 12 o'clock. Breath is still moving in a manner that as you inhale deeply, you can feel the inhale. You'll feel that gentle pause, and then you'll feel that exhale out. Wonderful. Go ahead and come up. You're going to lay onto your back. Any little spinal twists that are appropriate for you today. Today, I think one of the better spinal twists would be to take your arms out, pick your hips up, move them to the left side of your mat, bend your knees, and then drop the knees to the right side of the mat, keeping both shoulders down. And then the top knee comes up, followed by the bottom. Put the feet back down, pick the hips up, scoop them way over to the right side of your mat. So you've got to go past center, bring the knees in, drop them over to the left, keeping both shoulders rooted. Wonderful. Come onto your back, put your feet down, lift your hips up, one ridge posture, and then articulate each little vertebrae down onto the floor. You're going to squeeze your knees together, turning your heels out and your toes in. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Extend the legs out one by one. Rock and roll onto the heels until the feet flop out naturally. Release the shoulders from the ears one more time. Palms face up. Close the eyes. If you need to cover with a blanket or any other thing, pillow under the head or underneath the legs, please do so at this time. So now that you're on your back, let's go back into that simple breathing and say the breath just flows in through the nose and out through the nose. There's no work, there's no force, there's nothing that needs to be done in this moment. And as you find that space, and you find that everything in this very moment is done and there's nothing that you need to do except breathe. And feeling okay with that. Take a breath throughout the whole entirety of the body. Big breath in. Exhale, let it all go. 2 more of those. Inhale in. Exhale, lets it all go. Deep inhale in. Exhale, lets it all go. Wonderful. Wiggle those fingers and toes. Little smile on your face. Little smile on your collarbone. Reach the arms above the head. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And then roll over to whatever side feels best to you on your next exhale. And then with another smile on your face and on your collarbone, your next inhale, you'll roll up to a seated position. Inhale, sweep your arms up, reach up. Exhale, hands in prayer in front of your chest. Take that breath into that space that you already know. The things that need to be okay in this moment are already okay. Keep your mind on this moment. Keep it open and your heart full. Namaste. Beautiful. All right, Sarah, I will also send a little link of, like a good physical practice that'll go with this, but I've got my balance and back care coming up next, okay? Have a wonderful day.